There's a moment every man misses. A moment so small, so ordinary, most never realize it's the key to a woman's desire. It's the moment when your hand brushes hers, and she doesn't pull away. She pauses, just for half a second, just long enough to tell you something without speaking. Because physical touch is never just physical for a woman. It's communication, it's memory, it's emotional permission. And when she craves your touch, she doesn't say it. She shows it in ways most men never learn to read. But you're about to understand the language she speaks in silence. Welcome to Be Feminine. Before we go deeper, make sure you subscribe, because every week we break down the unseen emotional codes women hide behind, so you can finally understand the truth beneath their behavior. Now, let's begin. You ever notice how a woman leans in just a little too close when she asks you something simple? Maybe she tucks her hair behind her ear. Maybe her shoulder brushes yours. It looks accidental. It's not. A woman who craves your touch won't risk rejection with words. But she will give you little invitations, like a dimly lit path leading deeper into her world. One of the touches she secretly craves is the one that makes her feel chosen. The light touch on the lower back when you're guiding her through a crowded space. Not forceful, not possessive. Just enough to say, "Stay close. You're with me." That single gesture makes her feel protected, anchored, almost claimed in a way she won't admit out loud. Women fall for men in moments like that. Moments they replay later when they're alone, wondering why a simple touch felt so impossibly intimate. Another touch she secretly wants is the kind that feels unplanned but intentional. Picture this. You're talking. She's laughing. And you gently touch her wrist, not her hand, not her shoulder, just her wrist. The place where the pulse lives. The place where the body is most honest. It's such a small thing, but to a woman, it's electric. Because that touch says, "I'm paying attention to you, to the details, to the soft places." Most men only touch when they want something, but the man she craves touches with meaning. Then there's the touch she never talks about, the one she feels in her chest, not her skin. When you're sitting next to her and your leg brushes hers, and you don't immediately move away. You hold that contact, casual, but deliberate. You're not grabbing her. You're not pushing anything. You're simply letting your presence speak. And in that moment, a woman feels something dangerous. The awareness of a man. Women are not drawn to touch itself. They're drawn to the intention behind it. The patience, the self-control, the confidence of a man who knows what he's doing without needing to prove anything. But the truth is darker than most men realize. A woman only craves touch from a man she trusts emotionally, or a man she can't stop thinking about. Touch from the wrong man feels invasive. Touch from the right man feels like gravity. And here's where most men fail. They chase the physical moment. They try to force the tension. They touch too soon, too eagerly, too obviously. But a woman wants a touch that feels like the world slowed down for a second. Not because you planned it, but because the moment was strong enough to pull you both into it. She wants touches that feel earned, touches that feel inevitable. The truth is, women crave touches that come with emotional awareness, the kind of touch that says, "I see you, I feel you, and I know exactly what you're feeling before you say it." These are the touches she never asks for, but waits for. The ones that make her heart stutter, the ones she overthinks later at night, the ones that make her text her best friend saying, "I don't know why, but something about him." And if you understand these touches, you understand attraction on a level most men never reach. There's another touch women secretly crave, one so subtle, so understated, most men never master it. It's the touch that doesn't ask for anything in return, the touch that simply exists because you wanted her to feel your presence. Imagine this. You're sitting beside her, maybe at a cafe, maybe in a car. She's telling you something emotional, something she doesn't share with everyone. And instead of offering advice, instead of trying to fix her problem, you place your hand gently on her knee, not to pull her closer, not to escalate anything, but to say, "I'm here. You're not alone." That kind of touch disarms a woman. because most men only touch when they want something physical. But a woman falls hardest for the man whose touch calms her mind before it excites her body. There's something deeply psychological about it. A woman can feel safety before she feels desire, and she can feel desire because she feels safe. This is the paradox most men never understand. When you get it right, your touch becomes something she remembers long after the conversation ends. But there's another level, a darker layer of attraction built on instinct, not logic. It's the touch that happens when she's not fully paying attention, like when she walks past you and you gently brush her elbow to guide her, or when she's standing beside you and you place your palm on the small of her back, slow and steady. These touches do something powerful inside a woman. They make her feel like she's stepping into your frame, like she's moving in rhythm with you. That's not just physical chemistry. That's psychological alignment. Women crave touches that feel like an invisible connection, a moment of physical sync that says, we're attuned, we fit. And if you've ever made a woman pause, if you've ever seen her eyes soften or her breath catch for a second after you touched her, you've felt that power. But here's where the psychology gets deeper. Women crave touches that show restraint. You want to know why a light touch on her hips feels more intense than a full embrace? Why a soft graze of your fingers down her arm sends chills even more than a kiss? Because tension is more powerful than release. A restrained touch triggers something ancient, a surge of curiosity, anticipation, and emotional alertness. She starts wondering, does he want to touch me again? Why did that feel so good? What would he do if I didn't move away? Women don't crave chaos. They crave controlled intensity, the kind a man shows when he could go further, but doesn't. The moment when she feels your hand linger a second longer than necessary, not grabbing, not pulling, just aware. That's when her mind starts racing. That's when she starts imagining you, replaying tiny moments, wondering if you felt it too. And that's the exact moment attraction becomes emotional. But there's one more thing, a detail almost every man overlooks. Women crave touches that feel personal, not generic, not routine, not something you do with anyone. Women notice when your touch is tailored to them, when you adjust to the way she leans in, the way she breathes, the way she responds. Every woman has a different emotional rhythm, and the man who learns it becomes unforgettable. Because touch is not just skin against skin, it's awareness. It's emotional intelligence made physical. When she shifts closer, you match her. When she slows her movements, you slow yours. When she lingers, you hold the moment. That's how a simple brush of fingers becomes a memory. That's how a soft touch on her waist becomes a secret she thinks about for days. That's how you become the man her mind keeps circling back to. Because the truth is, women don't fall for the touches themselves. They fall for the story those touches tell. The story of a man who sees her clearly, feels her deeply, and touches her like he understands parts of her she hasn't even explained yet. Now let's go even deeper into the touches women never admit they crave, the ones that linger long after you're gone. These aren't the obvious ones, not the playful handholds or casual shoulder brushes. These are subtle, sacred, dangerous in their intensity. Think about a moment when she's laughing at something trivial, a story about her day, a joke she tells herself before anyone else. And without saying a word, you reach up and lightly tuck a strand of hair behind her ear. It's so small it could be overlooked. But to her, it's monumental. Because it's a touch that sees her. Not the body, not the smile, not the laugh, the essence behind the laugh, the part of her that only feels safe in fragments. Until now. Women crave this because it's rare. Most men only touch for pleasure, for desire, for ego. But when your hand lingers softly, when it traces a line she didn't know she was showing, it says, I notice you. I honor you. I want to know the parts of you you don't show. And suddenly, you're no longer just a man. You are the one she imagines returning to, the one whose memory lingers between texts, between thoughts, between dreams. Then there's the touch that comes with subtle dominance, not arrogance, not force, but the quiet confidence of a man who moves like gravity itself. A gentle hand guiding her through a door, a palm resting at the small of her back as you step aside to let her pass. These are whispers of control wrapped in care. They ignite something primal, something dangerous, something that feels like submission without coercion, surrender without fear. And it works because women crave paradox. They crave touch that comforts yet excites, safety yet tension, restraint yet intensity. But the most powerful touches of all are those that are unexpected. The brush of your fingers against hers when she doesn't see it coming. The lingering touch of your hand on her shoulder when you could have let it drop. The quiet, almost invisible gesture that makes her heart stutter. Those touches are electric because they catch her off guard. They speak in a language she cannot name. A language older than words, older than logic, older than conscious thought. And here's the cruel beauty of it. She won't always tell you she craves them. She won't always lean in or smile outright. Sometimes she will even pull away, testing you, testing the depth of your awareness, testing if you really understand her unspoken needs. And this is where most men fail, because men chase the obvious, the loud, the expected, but women crave subtle mastery, the kind of touch that reads her mind before she speaks, the kind of touch that respects boundaries while exploring emotional depths, the kind of touch that makes her wonder, not what you want, but who you are. The man who understands this becomes unforgettable, irresistible, a presence she cannot erase from her memory. So if you take one thing from this, remember, women don't just crave touch, they crave understanding expressed through touch. They crave attention, emotional intelligence, and silent acknowledgement, crafted physically. They crave the dangerous mix of restraint, awareness, and subtle intensity. They crave the story you tell with your fingers, your hands, your presence. And if you master this, you won't just touch a woman. You will linger in her mind, haunt her thoughts, and become the memory she carries long after the world fades away. Remember, the right touch can speak louder than words, and the wrong one can be forgotten in an instant. If you want to understand women on a deeper, almost invisible level, start noticing the small moments, the subtle gestures, the unspoken invitations. If this video opened your eyes to the secret language of touch, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell, because we dive even deeper into the unseen codes women hide behind. Comment below which subtle touch you're going to start mastering first. I'll be reading.